What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dad's Expensive Hobby.
What's up?
Today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends series GamerVerse Spider-Man 2 Black Suit Peter Parker. I know every single time I start complaining saying I'm going to stop buying Marvel Legends figures, but I was at Target, saw this guy, and said, you know what, why not go ahead and buy it? I thought it looked halfway decent. This is the second of those GamerVerse figures that I bought. I'll probably buy the whole wave as long as I see them out in the wild. I'm not going to be hunting them down or buying them online or anything, but if I see them, I will buy them, so keep an eye out for that. Anyways, let's look at this box really quick. It's that typical GamerVerse box, with the window on the front. Got a picture, I'm going to assume, from the game on the side. And what I'm going to assume is like from the the character select or whatever in the game. And I wish they would use figures, like pictures of the figure on the box, but they don't. Anyways, enough about this box. Let's get him out of the box and take a closer look at him. All right. Right out of the box, he doesn't look bad. I always like the kind of black suit look for Spider-Man. I just think it's kind of sleek and looks pretty good. But let's check out how tall he is real quick, and then we will dig into his aesthetic. To the top of his head, he's right at 6 inches tall, which would make the entire figure 15 to 15 and a half centimeters, somewhere in there. And I guess that's okay. I don't know. Looking at him, of course, he doesn't have much paint because he is a black figure, but the finish is pretty cool. It's got that kind of satin, look to it, that like a Venom suit-esque, symbiote kind of look that should have. So I like that pretty well. Let's look at his head sculpt really quick. It's really plain Jane. There is some texture, particularly in the back of the head, so that looks pretty good, and a couple little divots here and there to kind of give it a little bit of life. The shape isn't too bad. It's not super duper huge on the figure. The eyes, I always think the eyes are a little too far apart on these suits. If you were actually trying to look through a suit, they would need to be a little bit closer. But the paint on the eyes looks good. And where there is paint, which is just like 3 spots on the whole figure, the spider on the front looks really clean, so I'm proud of that. And the spider on the back is really clean, so I'm proud of that. That deluxe Venom could not say the same thing. And there's a little bit of paint on both hands, and they look pretty good. The kind of symbiote-esque texture throughout the rest of the body looks pretty good. I don't have a problem with it. I kind of like how his boots look down here, and his legs and stuff. So overall, like I guess the sculpt of it looks pretty decent. The hips aren't like super wide or nothing. Little bit of muscle in the arms, but nothing like overt or whatever. So that's not too bad. Let's look at his accessories really quick. He only comes with one head. He comes with this head right here on him in the package. He comes with 6 hands, which, I mean, I wish they would just give us more shit, but 6 hands will work. 2 fist hands on him in the package. 2 wide open, like wall crawly hands, and we've seen these on every other figure, particularly that Miles Morales that we looked at the other day. And then 2 web shooty hands right here. Again, same kind of hands with just different paint, but they gave them to us, so thank you, Hasbro, I guess. And this like symbiote kind of web looking effect right here, and that looks cool enough, I suppose. Nice rubbery, flexible plastic, and it looks good enough. And that, sadly, is the extent of the accessories for this. I think Maximum Spider-Man kind of spoiled me right off the bat, that one being the first Spider-Man that I've ever owned. But I guess for a $25, $26 offering, that's run-of-the-mill or whatever for Marvel Legends. Let's compare him to some other figures, speaking of the other figures really quick, and let's compare him to the Miles Morales from the same wave, and that Borica suit, I think I'm saying that right, and they look pretty cool. I'll have some complaints about this one versus this one here in just a little bit. Let's compare him to my favorite Spider-Man ever, the Spider-Man 3 Bully Maguire, and this one definitely looks much better. Real quick, I want to head swap them because I want to see what that Tobey Maguire head sculpt will look like on this figure. Really fast, indulge me. I think that looks pretty darn good. Look at that. That looks pretty awesome. If I was somebody that displayed figures, that would probably be the way I would display it. But since I don't, I won't. Anyways, let's stand him next to Maximum Spider-Man really quick, because I'm going to assume that for everybody, this will be the new gold standard for all the Spider-Man figures to be compared against. And they look all right, I guess. This one's got a much better sculpt, but he's twice the price, so he better. And just for the fun of it, let's stand him next to the GamerVerse Venom right here. I can't even get him in the frame, and I'm not really that concerned with it, but they look pretty cool. And that's the extent of the comparisons. That's about all I got. So let's take a look at his articulation really quick, because these, general offerings from Marvel Legends, there isn't a big bunch to them. Let's start with his head. He'll look down all right, minimal little gapping here in the back. Doesn't look up all that great, a little bit past, looking straight out ahead of him, but you do get some nice nuance and move around and all that stuff, and that's because he's on a double ball peg.
Thank you.
Granted, not a very well executed double ball peg, very short peg. It's a wide peg too. Nice big ball, but it's a wide peg. If that peg was skinnier, there'd be more room for it to move around, because it does look like they left a little bit of room inside the neck for it to move, but where the peg is so big, it doesn't really have anywhere to go, but it's still a double ball peg, and they're trying. No neck joint. I wish they would have given him a neck joint, but anyway. Shoulders don't really come out to 90.
Not this time.
That's a bit of a bummer. That would be because they didn't cut that right through there. If I'm showing the camera quite out far enough, so it just doesn't quite come up as far as it should or could, especially for being a Spider-Man figure. You do get full rotation. This one, that's what I was talking about with the Barika figure. This one doesn't have a butterfly joint. Why? Why limit the articulation on a Spider-Man version? That's kind of silly. The Barika Spider-Man, had a butterfly joint. Why doesn't this one? But then again, this Tobey Maguire Spider-Man doesn't really have much of a butterfly joint. So maybe the black Spider-Man, they just don't like giving them butterfly joints. I don't know. Anyway, but he doesn't have one, and that sucks. Diaphragm break. I don't like the abdomen setup, but let's look at it anyway. He has a diaphragm break. Here is neutral. He does not lean very, very far forward whatsoever on that, practically nothing.
Fuck.
Now, he will lean back, but look at that. That is a big shelf right there, and there's gap. I don't like that whatsoever. I mean, you can look up in there, and the camera might not be able to see it, but I can literally see the double ball peg it sits on, and it's like seated too far back in there, so he leans back good, but you cannot take this thing forward on that. You can twist it with no problem and lean it and all that good stuff, but you cannot crunch him forward on that. Now, he has the upside down diaphragm, like abdomen, ab crunch, whatever you want to call it, and it will lean forward really well. Got a little bit of spinal deformity down here at the bottom. Not a huge fan. And you can just see the bottom of the joint when it'll just roll right on through, and that doesn't look very good. And you can lean him way far back, but again, the bottom of the freaking joint itself freaking rolls through, and that doesn't look good. No waist twist. Enough said. Hips. Hips look pretty good. They don't stick out past the figure front or to the side, so that's pretty good. That's as far out to the side as you can take him. That's not horrible, but that's not great. There's no reason, because it's got it's just that ball peg up in there. There's no reason that he can't do a full split. Why can't they make a Spider-Man that can do a full split? I don't understand it. Front kick is acceptable. Got a little bit of spider booty on him. So you're not going to kick his legs back, and his butt's a little bit flat. I'm going to quit obsessing over butt cheeks. Anyways, thigh swivel works just fine. Pinless, double jointed knees, tons of range. Proportions are pretty decent. It's got a shin swivel that doesn't look too horrible when you engage it, so I'm kind of cool with that. Ankle is a hinge, so the foot will go all the way down. Come up pretty decent, and he's got an ankle rocker. Bottoms of the feet have peg holes and no toe hinge. And yet again, I have forgotten to show you all the bicep swivel. Has a bicep swivel, that works well. But do you see that kind of cut right there where the tricep is? Like, can you see that gap? I don't like the look of that. Like, when you turn it right there like that, you have a little bit of a gap, and I'm not a big fan of that. But anyways, pinless, double jointed elbows, tons of range, doesn't look horrific, so I'm not going to pass out. But not the best looking elbow, but fantastic range. And wrist is a hinge. So, articulation for this Spider-Man is meh. The abdomen, yet again for one of these, does not work very well whatsoever. The upside down ab crunch does function, but it messes with the aesthetic. And then this diaphragm brake right here does not work coming forward. Every other direction it does work good, but coming forward it sucks. And no butterfly joint. What the hell? Why no butterfly joint? I'm not really understanding that. If somebody knows the answer, tell me down in the comments. But anyways, final verdict for this one. I don't like it as much as I did the Borica suit as far as its overall function. I think it's a better looking design, but I don't like it as far as its function. That other one moved a lot better and had a little bit more paint. So this one, I don't even want to give this like a C average. This is going to be a C minus. This is kind of a letdown. This is not a very good figure, even for $25, $26. I don't recommend it. I know a lot of you completionists and people that are just a fan of the GamerVerse are going to buy it anyway, but I'm just saying you definitely don't need this figure. It is not very good. Anyways, that's all I've got for the Black Suit Peter Parker. If you haven't subscribed, pause the video, scroll down, give us a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And with all that said, this has been Dad with Dad's Expensive Hobby, and I'll talk to you in the next video.